Dick Van Dyke Show. Starring Dick Van Dyke. Rosemary, Maury Amsterdam, Larry Matthews, and Mary Tyler Moore.
Hello, Dick Van Dyke Show friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is KJ Ricardo, and today's episode is a biography and tribute to Mary Tyler Moore. Today, December 29th, is her birthday, and so I decided to do a complete biography and tribute about her life and her long career in show business. I love everything about Mary Tyler Moore. She was such a genuine, sincere person. She was just a joy. And so let's learn more about her life and learn more about her biography. So she was born on December 29th, 1936 in Brooklyn, New York, and she passed away on January 25th, 2017. She was the oldest of 3 siblings, and her family moved to Los Angeles when she was 8 years old. She was raised Catholic and she attended Catholic school. She was very close to her whole family, but unfortunately her younger sister Elizabeth died at age 21 from painkillers and alcohol, and her younger brother John died at age 47 from kidney cancer. Mary decided when she was 17 years old that she wanted to become a dancer. She had dancing training and she had a really good education with dancing, and so she began her career as Happy Hot Point, an elf dancer in TV commercials for Hot Point appliances. But in 1956, she was forced to stop dancing when she became pregnant. Afterwards, Mary modeled for magazines and record covers. Mary began guest starring on TV shows in the 1950s and early 1960s. This includes Richard Diamond Private Detective, as well as 77 Sunset Strip, and many others. But in 1961, Mary was cast as Laura Petrie on The Dick Van Dyke Show. She was only 24 years old at the time, and she was 11 years younger than Dick Van Dyke. But her energetic comedy worked brilliantly with Dick. She was the obvious choice as Laura. Because of her comedy and her signature tight capri pants, Mary became internationally well known. She won 2 Emmy Awards for her role as Laura Petrie, and she said, "I know this will never happen again." Well, she was very wrong. In 1970, Mary created The Mary Tyler Moore Show. This show was centered on a single Mary Richards as she navigated working in a newsroom mostly dominated by men. This show became a touch point for the women's movement. It really focused on single, independent women who lived in their own apartments and they worked in male-dominant fields. And so the show really inspired a lot of women during the 1970s to have careers of their own, to go out and be brave, be bold, be courageous. And the show is still relevant today. The show itself won 29 Emmys throughout its entire run, and Mary won 4 Emmys during that career. After Mary Tyler Moore Show ended, Mary continued to work in television. She appeared in a variety of comedy specials, including Mary's Incredible Dream, as well as How to Survive the 70s and maybe even bump into happiness, as well as The Mary Tyler Moore Hour, and she appeared as a guest star on many television shows as well. And this includes Annie McGuire, as well as Ellen, and The Dick Van Dyke Show Revisited. She reunited with her fellow cast members, and That 70s Show, and she reunited with her Mary Tyler Moore Show co-stars Betty White, Cloris Leachman, Valerie Harper, and Georgia Engel on Betty White's show Hot in Cleveland. And this would be the last time she would see many of those. In the 1980s, Mary began appearing in Broadway plays, including Whose Life Is It Anyway?, Rose's Dilemma, and many others, and she proved she was a versatile actress. Her production company, Mary Tyler Moore Enterprises, also produced a variety of plays, including Noses Off, Safe Sex, and many others. While Mary Tyler Moore is known as a TV star, she had her fair share of film work as well. She is best known for appearing in Thoroughly Modern Millie, starring opposite Julie Andrews, and she was also in the 1980 drama film Ordinary People. Mary surprised everyone in this dramatic role of a grieving mother unable to cope with the drowning death of one son and the suicide attempt of her other son. Mary received her first and only Oscar nomination for this role. Mary knew how to stay busy, especially with her own production company, Mary Tyler Moore Enterprises. The company produced her own show, Mary Tyler Moore Show, and its spin-offs, Rhoda, Lou Grant, Phyllis, and other shows, including The Bob Newhart Show, WKRP in Cincinnati, and many others. Looking into Mary's personal life a little bit, when Mary was just 18 years old, she married the boy next door, Richard Carlton Meeker. Within 6 weeks of their marriage, she was pregnant with her first and only child, Richard Jr. But Mary and Richard divorced in 1961, and Mary married CBS executive Grant Tinker in 1962. He worked with her to run her production company, but eventually the couple divorced in 1981. On October 14, 1980, Mary's son, Richard, tragically died of an accidental gunshot to the head. He was only 24 years old. He died a month after Ordinary People premiered, in which Mary played a grieving mother, and this was now her reality. On November 23, 1983, Mary began to find happiness again when she married her last husband, Robert Levine. He made her happy, and that was especially important in her later career. Mary wasn't shy about talking about her many illnesses. She was a recovering alcoholic and had type 1 diabetes. In 2011, she had surgery to remove a brain tumor, and she had kidney problems and was nearly blind towards the end of her life. But Mary shocked the world on January 25, 2017, when she unexpectedly passed away from pneumonia and other complications of diabetes. She was 80 years old, and at the time of her death, she was surrounded by her loved ones and her husband. At the time of her death, everyone was grieving, especially her fellow co-stars, and this includes Dick Van Dyke, who said, "Just to watch her grow was such a thrill for me. She left an imprint on television comedy," and I just love those two. Also, Carl Reiner, the producer of the Dick Van Dyke Show, he said she was one of those people, and I think it's the fact that she was a dancer to begin with. She was truly put together perfectly. Her co-star Valerie Harper on the Mary Tyler Moore Show said, "I cannot stop the emotions I'm experiencing since she was my acting colleague, my sister, my soulmate, and above all, one hell of a girlfriend." And her other Mary Tyler Moore Show co-star, Clarice Leachman, said, "She was America's sweetheart. If I could see her one last time, I'd hold her in my arms and say, 'We loved you.'" And finally, her co-star Ed Asner said, "She was the most generous of everyone around her in terms of giving them their moment." And in case you're wondering, yes, Ed loved Mary's spunk. And so, yes, Mary passed away in 2017, but her legacy has lived on. She's remembered for her many performances as Laura Petrie, as Mary Richard. She was a dancer. She could do drama. She could really do it all. She had a wide repertoire of what she could do as a performer, but she was also a feminist. She inspired women to first wear pants, and then she inspired them to work in a male-dominant profession. She was an activist. She advocated for diabetes research, animal rights, mental health awareness, and many more. She will always be remembered for her spunk, her passion, her drive, her commitment for good television. And so this is what we remember Mary Tyler Moore for. This is what we love about her, and we always will. Even though she's no longer here with us, she will always be loved by us. And she could turn the world on with her smile, and we can all agree she definitely made it after all. To conclude this video, I put together a compilation of a little tribute video to Mary Tyler Moore, so I hope you will enjoy. Sit back and smile along to Mary Tyler Moore.
This world is awfully big, girl, this time you're all alone. But it's time you started living, it's time you let someone else do some giving. Love is